Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another blog post. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 10 tips that I've gotten throughout my time in college, working at a career center, and seeking advice from professionals who really know what they're talking about. These things are kind of all over the place, so they're not really cohesive to fit into one blog post, or they're not all about one portion of professional development, but they're all really good to know. So they're going to be a little all over the place, but stick around. So my first tip is don't put too much pressure on yourself finding that first job. I know a lot of you and myself were, in the job hunt in our last year of college, and it's pretty stressful trying to find the perfect job or go into your dream field and move to New York and make it, or work for a top Big Four accounting firm. But just know that your first job is not where you're going to be forever. It doesn't even have to be where you're going to be for long. So just be graceful with yourself and know that you'll work up the ladder, and it's unnecessary to put this crazy amount of stress on yourself about your first job. Get some experience under your belt, make mistakes when it's not on your money or on your business. So make mistakes when the stakes are low, and then you'll be a great worker in a few years. And second is make all your social media accounts private. So you don't want to give recruiters, schools, employers anything else to judge you off of except what you explicitly give them. Things you can control, like your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn. Those things are on brand, they're professional, and no one wants to see your Twitter likes because they might be inappropriate. So if anything is inappropriate, make it private. Just make everything private so there's not even a doubt in your mind. Now, number 3 is when you're trying to find a job or be connected to a company that you really love, if possible, email the recruiter directly, or email HR, so you can skip all those steps of applying on LinkedIn where there might be 500 applicants and realistically the recruiters may only look at the top 30, or they already have someone that they are thinking of from their own company to move up. So if you can, email them directly just to get right into their inbox, and you're not just one of 100 applicants on LinkedIn or Indeed. So if you can get an actual name and an actual email, formulate something that's personal to them. And tip number 4 is after you meet someone, whether it be at a networking event or they come to your class or just throughout the day, you want to take 3 steps to make sure that you stick in their mind. First off, if you have a business card, give it to them. But if you don't, just right after you network with them or meet them, connect with them on LinkedIn. Then second step is to send them a letter, an actual handwritten letter, thanking them for their time, saying you're excited to keep in touch, and you can't wait to see what their company's gonna do, and you want to keep up with things, and you seem interested. So one day, just write or make the letterhead for 10 letters, and every time that you meet someone interesting or someone that is in your industry that could really help you or be a good resource, just write it out and address it to them or address it to their company, and it will get to them. And then third off, when you apply to the company, they'll have already seen you 3 times in person on LinkedIn and have gotten a letter from you. So that's a little old school, but it really works, and people love that personal touch. So try that out. I know it might be out of your comfort zone, but really push yourself to write a personalized letter to the person and use old-fashioned snail mail. And next tip is, I'm lost. Is this number 5? Yes, it's number 5. Always negotiate your salary. The first call that they give you saying you've got the job, here's the salary, say thank you, I would like a little bit to think about it, and then call them back or email them back and always say, is this offer up for negotiation? That is what my boss at my career center said. She said, if you've learned anything from working for me, let it be that you never should accept your first salary without trying to negotiate. If it's your first job, this kind of sets the tone for the entire time that you're going to be at that company. Where are you starting out at? It's only going to go up from there. So making sure, if you don't know how to negotiate, I have a blog post on your first negotiation, just bringing the facts and figures that you need to support why you would like, whether it be your salary negotiated or a moving package or anything like that. But a salary negotiation is potentially the way to go because it won't change. And things like a signing bonus, that's a one-time thing, but a salary is every year. So make sure you check out the salary negotiation blog post. And next up is, at the end of an interview, always have questions for them and always have open-ended questions. Don't let it be questions that are easy that you could have found online by a quick, simple scan of their website. You don't want to ask who's the CEO or something. You should know that. But ask open-ended questions like, how do you identify and develop your top talent? How do you make sure that they're happy? How would you describe the company culture? Things that really pull out a personalized answer. And that kind of rolls into the next tip, which is be respectful of people's time. So at the end of an interview, you can usually get the feel of how many questions you should ask, 2, 3. If they answer your first question with a very long-winded answer, maybe you don't need to ask any more questions. That's just going to be a way that you read the conversation. But being respectful of people's time. Don't keep asking a ton of questions. Really read the room. Make sure you're seeing how your interviewers feel. You don't want to say too much in a networking event. You don't want to pull them from their job. You don't want to write an email that is way too long. You don't want to make your resume 3 pages long. These people, they're at work. So be respectful of their time, and that goes in to play when you're asking them questions in the interview as well. Oh, this is a simple one that we all should have down, if not practice, is having a good handshake. Making sure it's firm but not too firm, and making sure it's not limp, and making sure you're not overbearing with it or you're shaking for too long. So just really practice with a friend and get your handshake down, because while it is old school, a handshake for me really makes a huge difference. If your handshake is just like out of the park bad, that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So just having an average handshake, so that doesn't give them anything to kind of turn their nose up about. And number 9 is, don't be robotic. Whether this be in an email or your elevator pitch, try to make everything sound human and personalized. So, a cover letter, don't send the generic cover letter to every single company that you're applying for. And when you first meet someone out at a dinner or at a networking event, don't just jump right into your elevator pitch where it's not natural. Just go in with the thought of trying to make a friend and having a conversational talk. It doesn't have to always be so professional that it seems unreal. So just practice with your friends, practice in the mirror. I know it's kind of awkward at networking events to see how you're going to start the conversation if they're at a booth and you have to walk up to the booth, but I will make a blog post on that later. So just making sure that you're natural about it. And my last tip is, whenever you're talking to someone or writing any information about yourself, focus on how you can help that person or help that company or help the industry rather than how they can help you. Because, not to sound harsh, but these companies don't exactly want to hire you just because it's your dream to work for them. There are probably plenty of students or young adults who it's their dream to work for CoverGirl or for a huge makeup brand or something like that. You need to stand out by saying what you bring to them, because that's what they care about. They care about their money, they care about their brand, they care about their share of the market. So you want to speak to how you can help them get better at that, and not really how they will help you get better. I mean, you can speak to that a little bit, but definitely be focused on why you should help, how you can help them. And yeah, that's my top 10 tips that I've learned so far, and I hope you all will utilize them and go forth and do great things. Thanks for watching.